Hi, my name is Giulia, and with this video I'd like to introduce you my final project. My final project, the topic of my final project is about past tenses for a fourth of essay. So it is a very generic topic, and it gave me the possibility to find out an effective way for speaking about the past tenses, explaining them, trying to make the students speak using the past tenses, but in a and very funny and useful way. So I know that all the students love uh, technological tools. So what I like to do is making creative activities with songs, because I am very fond of music. In my free time I really love actually playing the trumpet. It is my passion, so I like to communicate this passion of mine to my students, and through some songs that are very important to me. I am a great Beatles fan, so I think that Beatles are a good example, not only for the language, because they spoke and they sang in a very proper English, but also they can be considered also a symbol for the English culture during this period, this historical period during the 60s and the 70s. So that's why I made a lot of activities based on Beatles. So here we can find out the menu of my website. So we start with the teaching unit. Of course, that it is the most important. In the first part, you can see that the subject area is about grammar and culture. Culture, of course, talking about the Beatles, where they were born, what they did from a cultural point of view. The grade level is the fourth semester, and in this project, here in the summary, you can see that I try to learning how to manage in a proper way all the past tenses in a very effective and practical way. And I think that through music is easier and funnier for them, learning how to speak and how to write with the proper past tense. I think that through music, the human brain can easily memorizing also a lot of vocabulary, new vocabulary, and can find out a very easy path for remembering how we can use actually some grammatical tools as the past tenses. Of course, the rhythmical base of a song is always very effective for the memory of the human brain. We all know that. So, of course, the learning objectives. So, first of all, I always like my students to understand the differences between their mother tongue and English language, because sometimes they try to speak English, translating directly from Spanish language, and it is not really effective. So what I stress during my classes is how to get responsible and how to understand deeply these differences. So of course it is very important to distinguish all type of past tenses and the context in which they are used. Identify the context in real daily life in order to use tenses properly. So I always provide them some examples that are pragmatical examples. For example, talking about experiences, past experiences. It is a good way for introducing some differences between the past tenses, and having like a timeline in our brain for understanding which tense is correctly said for each experience in the past. Students' assessment. Of course, using interactive videos help them understand the concept of linguistic interdependence, and because they always think about their own mother tongue, but through song it is easier for them to get used to thinking about English as an effective language too, not only a subject in school. So it is good for them to have this kind of activities that are interactive, and they can also enjoy a lot, and they can, of course, understand, as I said before, the differences between the two languages and how to use them properly. So, of course, before beginning such a kind of teaching unit, it is good to having a timeline in mind. So, for example, for each class that I dedicated to this final project, I always use the whole hour, more or less, so 40-50 minutes. I am with the fourth vessel once a week. So this project lasts 5 weeks, okay, more or less, because I provided them 5 videos. Of course, the videos are about a different kind of past tenses, and they are all difficult in a very different way. So I dedicate for each video the entire class I had. Okay, so of course the skills they had to have before this kind of project is a basic grammatical knowledge about the past tenses. What they've studied during the school year is enough. Okay, so I always give a lot of importance to the introduction. A good introduction of the activity makes the students engaged, makes the students thinking about what they actually want to learn and what skill they want to develop the most. Before watching the videos, I always talk about the cultural environment when the video was done, and about Beatles' life, about this sort of crazy decade that it is between the 60s and the 70s in the whole Europe, but mostly, of course, in the United Kingdom. And so we talked about the hippies and Beatlemania and certain kind of hipsters, the Beat generation, and so on, and all the artists that they worked together during this period. They were very engaged to know all of them, because they actually didn't know a lot about the Beatles and this period of time in history. Of course, watching the videos are interactive videos, so while they are watching the video and listening to it, they have to find out the correct answer to a very easy question. Most of the videos I created are multiple choice questions, so they have to tell me what is the correct one. And I found out that the interaction among all students is very important for them to understand deeply the topic, because normally in class we have very different levels, very different personalities, and working with the entire class and let them speak in and let them discuss about a topic is very useful also for from a teaching point of view. I mean, because many students can understand a lot from another classmate. Maybe they are shy for asking me, maybe they are shy for asking the teacher directly, and they try to understand deeply a topic through the explanation gave by a classmate. So I think that these activities are activities thought for an entire class and for talking out loud and discussing out loud. It is very fun. Okay, so this teaching unit is the first part of this website. So the second part, I dedicated the second part to the Beatles. Alright, so the Beatles. So for each one of them we can find out a portfolio, so with a little bit of their lives, a little bit of curiosities, a little bit of what is the Beatlemania, how they changed music in history, and the reasons why they are extremely important for music and for English history. Then here we can find out Liverpool. Okay, so Liverpool is where all the Beatles were born. So we talked about a little bit the city and what we can, of course, find out there, that it is the story museum, little story museum, that it is the most important museum about the Beatles. And in the last part of this website, we can find out the activities. Okay. Find out here. Here we are. Okay, so the activities are here explained, and for each video you can find out, for example, let's see the first. The first video I created is about simple past tense, is about yesterday's Beatles song, and while listening to the song, choose the correct option of the verb. All the verbs are in the past tense. So scene summary is about Paul McCartney singing his famous song Yesterday, where I could find out the video that it is a YouTube video. And I try to also thinking about the grammar level. So I think that it is between a A2 and B1 level, and it is for high school students, but it is also for adults. I think that it could work. And English is the UK English, of course, simple past tense. And here you can find out other details about the videos. So I'd like to talking about the activities in a very particular way with another video. So for the moment I explained you how my website works and how I was thinking about it, and I hope that this explanation was quite exhaustive, and so see you later.